Anointed Warriors. What's up, spiritual family? Welcome back to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry, where I am your host, Brother Mongoose. And for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, please know that I am both a minister and a philosopher. So let that inform you right off the bat that this is not your traditional type of ministry, nor am I your traditional type of minister. For more information about what I mean by both of those things, stay tuned to the end of the video. We'll talk about it. But for now, let me send out a special salute, a special shout out, if you will, to all my long time supporters and those of you who are anywhere in between, long term. They get the most thanks, they've deserved it. But I'm equally appreciative of every last one of you guys. Whether you're tuning in for the first time, you're somewhere in the middle, or if you are a long-time subscriber, hey, listen, I do appreciate you. I know what kind of heart that you have. If you didn't have the kind of heart that is clean, you wouldn't be interested in these type of topics. Yes, we know that the enemy is interested in these type of topics because the good book says they're always studying, God's children, because they're always plotting against God's children. But I believe you're amongst those who has a clean heart, clean intentions. And I salute you, I celebrate you, and I ask you for the opportunity to give me the opportunity to show my appreciation. Thanks is something you say, appreciation is something that you show. So I look forward to the opportunity of showing my appreciation if and when you deem that you may want or need something from this ministry. Other than that, I believe that's everything as far as the opening. We're going to take right off into today's topic, man, where we're talking about your enemies work for you. They're working for you. Now, I know it may not seem like it. It may not feel like it. The external circumstances, the hardships, the headaches, the setbacks, the betrayal, the shaming, the mockery, the attacks on your reputation, the boycotting of your business. How is all of this working for me, you might ask? Just in the way that the good book says, that all things come together and are working for the good of those who love the Lord. And this is important, guys, who love the Lord and who are called according to their purpose. You're not being anybody that you're not supposed to be. You're not doing anything that you're not supposed to do. You're not pursuing anything that you're not supposed to pursue. You're not believing in or partaking in anything that you're not supposed to. You're called according to your purpose. Now, I believe that's you. And if that is you, then all things / your enemies are working for you. See, this is why this ministry is always putting a premium emphasis on mental focus, mental renewal, mental restoration. Because after a long day, it's hard to sit back and say, hey man, look, that guy yelled at me, that girl rolled her eyes at me, this guy, shoved me, the boss yelled at me, my wife, talked down to me, my kids are going through challenges and finances. It's hard to, at the end of the day, be able to say, well, you know what, that's all working for me. It requires you to be able to be determined to say, hey, I'm going to put my mind where it needs to be. I'm going to give myself a courtesy reminder and bring my mental focus back to what he said about me, who he said I am, the promises that he has made to me. And I'm not making light of any of the hardships, the headaches. Some of you guys may have not so positive medical diagnosis. But you can listen to that doctor and lose sight of listening to him. This is the point that I'm making. It's all working together for your good, even though it may not seem like it. And it's not just the enemies, your enemy, it's not just your enemies working against you. It's not just your enemies that are working against you that ultimately are working for you. It's not just them. It's your own setbacks, your own mistakes, your own false beliefs that you have to grow and evolve from, your own bad attitudes, your own vices, if you will, you struggling to get over that. It's not a coincidence that you were on alcohol, that you were addicted to alcohol, drugs, whatever the case may be. It's not a coincidence that that was given to you to work for you. How are you going to teach somebody to evolve and to grow and overcome being an alcoholic if you were never an alcoholic? And now you comprehend. Yeah, we got these people out here that go to school and they do all the reading, but they never walked the walk. And so oftentimes their assignment to help people off, again, just use an example, alcohol, their assignment to get people off of alcohol is oftentimes is futile, because they can't really tell somebody, because they haven't been an alcoholic themselves. So whether you may have been, an abusive spouse, or abusive husband, or abusive wife, you may have been promiscuous, you may have been arrogant, you may have been broke, no finances. Whatever, you may have been a racist, a thug, whatever the case may be, all of these things, not just your enemies that talk about you and put you down and all these things, not just them, but your own personal struggles. It's all working for you. But as it gets back to the point of this message, your enemies are working for you. The people that hurt you the most, the people that disappoint you the most, the people that attack you the most, the people that let you down the most. These people are working for you. They may think, and you may think, that they're working against you, but they're not. They're working for you. We got to use this mental determination, this mental health and wellness, this mental renewal, being able to recenter ourselves in the midst of the storm, to not ignore the storm, to not run away from the storm, but to let the storm serve its purpose. Look at where you are now. Look at where you are now. Whatever money you have, whatever money you don't have, whatever friends you have, whatever friends you don't have. Your ability to make it through, to be strong, to endure, to persevere. You would never have learned that if you hadn't been presented with these obstacles. Your ability to navigate these situations, to where once upon a time that jerk in the office would always piss you off and get you to overreact. But by them continuing to attack you relentlessly, and maybe you lost a job here and lost a job there and lost several jobs. I'm just using this as an example. But wherever this situation may fit in your life, you went through the bumps and the bruises bruises, excuse me. You went through the bumps and bruises that was required. And so now, when those jerks come and try and push your button, you've mastered that. You've transcended that. And the only way that you were able to do this was because of them constantly working for you by attacking you, thinking they were working against you. They help you learn that lesson that he needed for you to learn in order for you to fulfill the purpose that he has for you. So when you look at it, when you zoom out, it's like your enemies are working for you, just like your workout is working for you. That sweat, that fatigue, that tiredness, that soreness, that pushing through and going to the gym when you don't want to, when you don't feel like it. When you're in the throes of it, it doesn't seem like that's working for you. What are you talking about? My legs are fried legs and ham. I couldn't hardly walk the other day based on that leg workout. You're so exhausted. That didn't feel like it was working for you. You had knee pain, lower back pain. You was exhausted, dehydrated. It didn't feel like it was working for you. But ultimately, you went from jogging up the street to around the block and up the street to a mile to several miles. And just depending on what analogy you want to use, now you're able to do a marathon and a triathlon. It's all working for you. You know, I heard this story. I'll see if I can get both stories in real quick. I heard one story of this guy who used to go to this favorite restaurant. And it had a beautiful view of the lake and the ocean. And he had this favorite table that he would go there like clockwork and sit at this each week. He would go and sit at this table like clockwork. And it was his favorite table. Well, there was this waiter who was what we call a hater, a disciple of darkness, a dark seeker, always trying to bring somebody down. You know who they are. And so this waiter began to recognize that this guy wasn't the same if he didn't get his favorite table. So the waiter, every time he saw this guy or this girl, whatever, enter into the restaurant, they would always pretend that that table was off limits. The guy would be there first. They'd give the table to somebody else. And it almost caused this guy to give up and to stop going there, because the whole purpose of that restaurant, there were other restaurants that he could have went to, but the whole purpose of that particular restaurant was because it had a certain seat and a certain view. And he almost gave up and stopped going to the restaurant altogether. But then he did what I'm asking you to do, to see how it all could benefit him. So what he would do is he would go to the restaurant and he would prepare himself to be irritated, to be agitated, frustrated, and kind of thrown off by not getting that table. He looked forward to it. He began to see that it could make him stronger. It could make him continue to stay on his path / continue to go to that restaurant. And so he began to actually go there in different times. He varied up his times when even that hater of a waitress wasn't there, and that table would be available. And he would intentionally sit elsewhere. You see where I'm going with this? And so that ultimately, he got to the point to where even though that was his same table, he could still enjoy himself. He could go to that restaurant and enjoy the view from sitting here, there, or anywhere else. And not that he did it on purpose, but he looked forward to getting back to his regular schedule and being able to go in there and see this hater and know that, hey, thank you. I almost gave up on my favorite restaurant / I almost stopped this walk with this thing called God. I almost gave up my favorite restaurant. But now, because you put me through so much, I enjoy my favorite restaurant from top to bottom. And he looked forward to going there and seeing that and showing that. So it's all working for your good. The frustration, the disappointment, the haters, your own mistakes, it's all working. It works for you. Again, keep going back to that analogy of a workout. And if you are somebody who enjoys working out, then that's not a good analogy for you. Something that's a test, that's something you don't feel like doing, something that irritates you, that agitates you. For me, that may be something like dealing with computers. Dealing with anything that requires one to be, somewhat, technically savvy. They got to have they got to be proficient when it comes to technology. That may be something like, that's a good example for me. It's like, you know what? I need to go and do this as often as I can. Because whatever it is that challenges you is what you need. There's an old philosophical saying that says, what is in the way becomes the way. If you're living in this world, you're living in this environment, and we all are, where people are rude, people are disingenuous, people are fake, people are sellouts, people do all these different things. You're not glutton for pain, but you realize that those things work for you. If you run from those things, and this is the kind of world that we're living in, then you're running from the world. You're running from life that you live in. You comprehend. So just like the guy at the restaurant, it's all working together for you. Another story is, there was a story where this guy was on a journey, and he came across this big boulder that was blocking his way. A huge, enormous boulder, something that 5 elephants couldn't move. And he knew that there was something for him on the other side that he had to get through, something that was paramount to his journey and to his spiritual destiny. So he prayed out and asked God, hey, God, move this stone out of my way. I know I'm on the right path, but I need you to move this stone out of my way. And God answered him and said, hey, you move it. And, the guy said, well, okay. So he pushed up against it, just thinking that, when he moved in faith, that, God would show up and actually move the stone for him. He pushed, stone didn't budge. He pushed a little harder, stone didn't budge. He pushed and gave it all it's got, for the entire day. The next day, the stone was still there. He prayed and asked God. He said, hey, man, I need you to move the stone. God said, no, I want you to move it. He said, come on, God, what are you talking about? You know that I could never move this stone. This stone weighs several tons. You need, a herd of elephants to move this. I can't move it. God says, I want you to move it. And so each and every day he got up loyal, and he stressed his back, and he, pushed up against this to his arms and his wrists, and his legs were sore. Every day, day in and out, he pushed up against it and gave it all that he had. Holding on to the promise that I'm asking you to hold on, that it's all working together for your good. And then finally one day he woke up and the stone was gone. And he prayed. He said, God, what was that all about? Like, why did I have to go through the agony, the disappointment of not being able to move the stone, the frustration, the sweat, the tears, only for you to show up and move it anyway? And God told him, look at your arms, look at your legs, look at your abs, look at your back, look at your endurance. He put that there, that trial, that tribulation, that obstacle. He put it there, and he told that guy, now see, everything that you needed, this strength that you just got, you needed that for what's next on your journey. So everything, the frustration again, the disappointment, learning how to be a better person, the setbacks of, whether it's drug addiction, incarceration, promiscuity, whatever it may be, the trials, the tribulations, and the haters, your enemies, it's all working together for you. Your enemies aren't working. They think they're working against you, but they work for you. They are that stone that's making you stronger and stronger and stronger. And in God's appointed and divine timing, he's going to move that stone out of your way. And all the lessons that you learn from the trials, the tribulations, the frustrations, the setback, the agony of it all of the things that your enemies produced, you're going to be able to sit back just like that guy did. And metaphorically speaking, you're going to be able to look at your abs, your chest, your back, your legs. So you're going to be able to look at your ability to stay calm under pressure, your ability to stand up for yourself without exceeding the limit, your ability to turn and walk away, your ability to remain humble and compassionate, your ability to stay focused and full of faith. All of the things that's required for you to navigate this difficult and trying terrain, the obstacles that the enemies, all the fiery darts that the enemy are launching your way. You're going to be able to look back and see how you needed all of that in order for you to get to the next level and go on and fulfill your divine purpose. So remember that. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but it can be done. If you'd like to reach out to this ministry and get some information about how this ministry can help you do that, then I'm going to leave an email link down in the description. But yes, it can be done. And yes, it's your divine anointing to get her done. Pardon me. So keep that in mind, guys. Now, let's talk about the ministry real quick. What makes this a different kind of ministry? This ministry, guys, what makes it a different kind of ministry? What makes it a non-traditional ministry is the fact that even though this ministry does trace its origins back to religion, this ministry is not limited by religion. In fact, this ministry is taking a holistic approach to health and wellness, to life, and to running the race that he has set before us. This holistic approach provides you with services that are designed to help strengthen and nourish the mind, the body, and the spirit. This ministry believes that when we're operating at a premium, our individual premiums, whatever that premium is for you, the next guy, the next girl, whatever that premium is for you, in your mentality, your physicality, and in your spirituality, when you're operating at a premium, then it makes you more proficient and more effective when it comes to advancing his kingdom. And it also makes sure that you lead a more fulfilling lifestyle. So mind, body, and spirit. He didn't give you just a mind. He didn't just give you a body. He didn't just give you a spirit. That's what this ministry is about. So now, having said that, let me ask you this. What are you going to do today to show him thanks and praise that he's given you a sound mind, a sound body, and a sound and clean spirit? What are you going to do? You utilize these things every single day, as you should. That's the purpose for why he gave you a mind, a body, and a spirit. But if you use them every day and you do something to acknowledge them once a week, to strengthen and revitalize them once a week, how do you think that's really, really working out? And how do you think that truly honors him? And he gave you these things and you use them each and every day, but you acknowledge them once a week, twice a week, every single day. It doesn't require a lot of time, guys. That's the misnomer. 2 minutes a day is better than no minutes a day. So it doesn't take a lot of time, guys. If you'd like some information about how this ministry can assist you with advice, with recommendations, suggestions, and result-oriented steps, practices, and procedures that you can implement day in and day out, just like you get up and you brush your teeth and make your bed, day in and day out. Things that you can do to help strengthen and nourish your mentality, your physicality, and your spirituality. If you'd like some information on how this ministry can be of service to you in that regards, then please hit the email link down in the description. I'd love to be of assistance to you. Now, the actual services themselves consist of experiential-based philosophical consultative services for the mind, ISSA certified fitness training for the body, and clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices for the spirit and for the soul. For some more specific details about what these services consist of, how they're implemented, and more importantly, how they're going to be beneficial to you should you choose to invest in them / invest in yourself. Again, hit that email link. Some additional services provided by this ministry that utilizes this holistic approach consist of good old-fashioned motivational speaking, as well as youth and young adult mentoring and counseling. And again, for more information about the services, send me an email. I love the opportunity to answer all your questions. And I'm also working on a video that will give more details on, these services, how they're going to be beneficial to you, how they're applied, what they consist of, etc. But if you have questions that you want answered in those regards right now, hit that email link, and you can also hit that same email link to schedule your initial consultation and evaluation in any or all of those particular areas. Please visit the physical fitness branch of the ministry located at mountfitnessmbs.com. That will just give you some insight into my experience and my expertise thus far as it relates to physical fitness, training, diet, nutrition, and all that good stuff. What makes me different as a minister? This is of premium importance, guys. You're going to want to watch a video that's titled My Testimony and Disclosure. The reason why it's so important is because you could be wasting your time getting familiar and accommodated and supporting this ministry with the likes, the subscribe, and all that stuff, being generous with your time, checking the ministry out. You could be wasting your time because you may watch that testimony and disclosure video and be totally turned off by it. The flip side of that coin is, hey, listen, if you need a courtesy reminder, if you need a reinvigoration of the fact that he is still on the throne, he's still performing miracles, if you need a courtesy reminder of how much he's been there for you, how much he's delivered you, how he's given you your daily bread, and you're still fighting a good fight day in and day out. If you need something to help you recenter on that, to remind you of that, watch that video. That video may even inspire you to help this ministry in any way that you can. But either way, chances are there's going to be a heads or a tails response to those to the testimony and the disclosure. So watch it as soon as possible, guys. Receive that blessing, that encouragement by way of the testimony and disclosure, or know right off this ministry isn't for you, and put it in God's hands. And if it's not for you, then that's fair. I totally get that. But that's what this ministry is all about, guys. I do believe that that's everything. I'm going to ask you guys to be honest. Did you get something out of today's message? And I know you're an honest person. So that just was kind of something that we say. I know you're an honest person. And if you didn't get anything out of today's message, totally fair. But if you got something that was fruitful, that was beneficial to you, then go ahead and reach over there, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already subscribed, and also hit the thumbs up and the share button. Hit that share button to take a message that was beneficial to you and pay that message forward. Allow that same message to have the opportunity to also be beneficial to someone else. Hitting the like and the subscribe, that helps the YouTube algorithm so the ministry can go and the ministry itself can be beneficial to even more people. So please, will you give back to this ministry? Will you help support this ministry? The thoughts, the beliefs, the perspectives, the ideas that this ministry is all about. Like, share, and subscribe. And also hit the bell icon if you're interested in receiving a notification every time I upload a new message. If the Holy Spirit moves you to make a monetary donation to this ministry, remember, no amount is too small. I'm going to leave a Cash App link down in the description in order for you to do that. Now remember, your generosity in any area when it comes to financial donation, help and support the ministry by way of liking, subscribing, sharing the video, your generosity, your help in any or all of these areas, he has promised you that you will receive a harvest, an abundant harvest, shaken down, pressed together, and running over. So whatever good seed you plant into this ministry, Look forward to your harvest. Receive it by faith, guys, because it's coming out of my mouth, but these are his words. Just using my mouth to say them. You're familiar with these. Receive them by faith, guys. Be it unto you according to your faith, and receive your harvest. If you like prayer, motivation, encouragement, any information about the services, that email link is down there. But I'm going to get out of here for now, guys. I love you all. I really do value all of you guys. I'm going to encourage you guys, as always, to live a life that this is not just what we say. This is what we do. This is who we are. We prioritize faith over fear, truth over tradition, knowledge over nonsense, love over lust, and people over profit. That's what I got for y'all, man. I love y'all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Now go out there and remember what the gist, what the totality of today's message is. So if it's all working for you, then why are you running from that? Why are you afraid of that? I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I know it's frustrating. But you need that. You need to be able to, using that gym analogy again, you need to be able to get up and down those stairs so that you can be able to run up and down the block. You need to be able to struggle with those 10 or 20-pound dumbbells so that you can get to those 30s and 40s that you want. Whatever the case may be, it's all working together for your good. Don't opt out. Continue to opt in. Embrace it. Take it on the chin. Know that it's all working together for your good. Reach out to this ministry if there's any way that I can help you. That's what I got for y'all. I'll see you guys in the next message. I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and I will holler back. Peace.